till you take over the world, till the world hears your voice, till you take over the world.
We'll keep the fire burning through the dark. I'll go there by your side.
When you're looking for a hero, I'll stand by you like a shadow.
But keep the fire burning through the dark. I go there by your side. It's not over, it only just began. You've come closer than you've ever been.
Take your chances, it won't hurt to try. No need to worry, I go there by your side. Till the world hears your voice, till you take over the world. I go carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side. When you're looking for a hero, I'll stand by you like a shadow. I go carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side.
You're not there yet, but you're on the way. I day with you, I know go forget you.
No matter where you come from, we go there like one tribe. Oh, yeah. No need to worry, I go there by your side. Oh, till the world hears your voice, till you take over the world. I go carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side. When you're looking for a hero, I'll stand by you like a shadow. I go carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side. Everybody, till the world hears your voice, till you take over the world. Take over the world. Carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side. When you're looking for a hero, I stand by you like a shadow. Carry your back down for any load. I go there by your side. I go there, I go there. We go there like one tribe. I go there by your side. I go there by your side. We go there like one tribe. I go there by your side. I go there.
Okay, so a very good evening to you, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us again on another exciting Life Success Center training. This is the Life Success Center training, and today we will be going into another amazing conversation. This time we're going to be talking about effective communication and presentation. But before we begin tonight or this evening, today we're taking our sessions in the evening because there's another event that's going to happen tomorrow. So we didn't want to get into the way of that event. So that's why we're taking our session this evening. So we apologize for the inconvenience that this may be for you because you are used to our sessions on a Saturday, 11 to 1 p.m. But today we're taking it by Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we expect that all of us will be part of the class, will be engaging as possible, and we'll have an amazing time together while we talk on effective communication and presentation. So A very good evening to you. Thank you so very much for joining, wherever you're joining from, whether in your hostel, in your wherever you are joining from. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are glad to have you here this evening. So we'll get straight into the first presentation that we have today before I get into my conversation that we're going to be having today. So I have a group that is ready on standby that wants to do their presentation. Like we said, we're only going to take a few groups on the live, and then the rest of us will do our presentations recorded and sent to the group chat where we're going to score and give credits for the presentation. So our first presenter this evening is no other person than Wonderful. Wonderful, how you doing? Wonderful, can you hear me? Hello, Wonderful. Hello, Wonderful, are you here? Wonderful, can you hear me? Our network is bad, so our network threw her off. I hope we're able to take that this evening, right? So before we get into our conversation for today, how are you doing? How's your week? Let's do a little bit of icebreaker. How's your week? How's your week this week? Like, what happened for you this week? If you could wrap up your week in one word, what would that word be for you? Let me see that in the comment section. If you could put your week in one word, what would that week be for you? My week has been a roller coaster. It has been amazing, up, down, and all of that. But we are here now. We've been able to find our way across the different things that have been happening this week. So how's your week, right? That's my week. How was your week? Yes, fine. Thank you. Hope you're good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. As you can see, I'm good. Thank you for asking, right? Thank you so much for asking. So how was your week? If you could put your week in one word, what would that word be? Please do well to share the link with your classmates in your group chat. Let them be part of the conversation. We are currently less than 100 here. We're supposed to be 1,000, right? So let everybody join in and let's do this. Somebody said the week is stressful. Sorry about it. Sorry about your stressful week, but thank God it's Friday. Like they say, thank God it's Friday. Another person is stressful. It is well. The Lord will calm your stress and ease your stress in Jesus' name. Okay, so Wonderful. If you're here, let's continue. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Sir?
You are live.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. So are you ready for your presentation?
Yes, I can hear you.
Over to you. Begin your presentation. Over to you.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
I said you can begin your presentation. Begin your presentation.
Network issue.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Can you start your presentation? We can hear your...
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Can you
me,
begin?
sir?
Begin. I can hear you. Can you start your presentation?
Hello? Okay. Yes, I can.
So begin.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Uzoy Wonderful from Legacy Group 2. And we're giving the topic on hyper automation, smarter living for students. So, hyper automation, we welcome you to the future of efficiency. And this presentation explores on how hyper automation, a powerful blend of AI, that's artificial intelligence, and robotic process automation, can transform the university life of students. So, we'll go straight into understanding the core of AI and RPA. So what is AI? AI is a technology that enables machines to learn, recognize patterns, and make intelligent decisions. It's the brain behind systems that can understand speech, analyze complex data, and even predict outcomes. Then we have robotic process automation, that is RPA. It isn't about physical robots, it's software that automates repetitive rule-based tasks. Think of it as a digital assistant that can copy data, fill out forms, send routine emails, and organize files, freeing up valuable time for more engaging activity. Now, what is the distinction between these two? RPA follows rules while AI thinks and learns, making them perfect partners for advanced automation. So I personally see RPA as the response that we get whenever we like search through Google Chrome. Now, if you go to Google and want to search, mainly we type in how can I, you see like different answers of of the probable text of what you are looking for. Then next part is what is hyper automation. So hyper automation brings AI and RPA together, creating a seamless workflow where more tasks can be completed without constant human intervention. RPA handles the predictable step-by-step action, while AI steps in for tasks requiring understanding, judgment, or complex analysis. So we have two differences between AI and RPA. First one is that AI analyzes. An AI system processes complex information such as reading and interpreting a document. So most of the time when we use ChatGPT, we'll tell ChatGPT that can they please explain or summarize or all those extra stuff that we ask them to do. Then an RPA acts. An RPA bot extracts specific data and automatically updates the relevant system. So like I said, it's just like Google Chrome. So when you search on Google Chrome, it immediately brings out the particular question that you are asking from. It could be from an article, it could be from a book, it could be from a movie, and it will show up as results. Then the second difference that an AI verifies. AI then cross-checks for potential errors or inconsistency, ensuring accuracy, while an RPA reports. So it generates and sends routine reports, only alerting a human if an anomaly is detected. So that's basically like when your Gmail now, if somebody wants to hack into your Gmail or if somebody wants to hack into one of your important information or take one of your important information, sorry, it will notify you that okay, oh, somebody is trying to hack into your account. Are you so person? Are you in so place? Confirm if it's you. That's an RPA. The next one is why hyper automation matters for us students. Now, imagine a university where administrative burdens are dramatically reduced, allowing you to focus on learning and innovation. Hyper automation offers significant benefits. It increases the speed. Tasks are completed faster from registration processes to grade reporting. Basically talking about our portal. A lot of things happen on our portal. So immediately we open our portal, we go straight to our fees, payment of fees, cost registration, and all those other parts of the portal, sale registration. So it helps with things like this. If you want to register like 100 level now, when you were registering for admission or you're trying to get admission, you first have to create a portal. All those little things, that's what hyper automation helps us to do. Then it lessens the mistakes. That is, automated processes drastically reduce human error in repetitive tasks. Then it gives meaningful focus. Students and staff can dedicate time to critical thinking and creative problem solving. Then resource optimization. Universities can save time and reduce stress for their workers, leading to better resource allocation. Then real world student applications, automated course registrations. Like I said before, it helps all those processes that we take in registering courses. It helps with that. AI powered systems can recommend courses based on academic performance and career goal, while RPA handles the enrollment process. So when you want to register your courses, it will show you the courses that you are offering for the semester, and then you have to select it and then wait for your course advisor's approval. Then personalized academic support. AI can identify students who might be struggling and trigger RPA to send targeted resources or schedule tutoring sessions automatically. So there's a way you can set a system up that when we like search online now and we are looking for a particular thing, it will bring out multiple options. That's what it does. That's what it helps us to do. So AI suggests why RPA decides. Then smart financial aid processing. RPA can gather and verify necessary documents with AI flagging complex cases for human review, speeding up aid disbursement. Now, student-led hyperautomation projects, it helps with research data compilation. AI can sift through vast research papers, and RPA can compile relevant data for analysis. Campus event organizations, from booking venues to sending out invites, automations can streamline event planning. Automated lab management, RPA can track equipment usage and maintenance schedules with AI predicting needs. Student feedback analysis, AI can analyze sentiment from feedback forms, highlighting key areas for improvement. And then last but not least, the path forward, smart and responsible automation. While the potential of hyper automation is immense, successful implementation requires careful consideration. Number one is good planning, clearly define goals and map out processes for automation. Number two is quality data, ensure data accuracy and integrity for reliable automated decision. Number three is regular monitoring, continuously observe and refine automated systems to prevent issues. And number four is human oversight, maintain human intervention for unusual cases and ethical consideration. Embracing hyper automation thoughtfully can lead to a more efficient, engaging, and enriching university experience for everyone. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.
Awesome. Why did you disappear the slide now? Wonderful. Anyways, beautiful presentation. You shot your time for a few minutes, but it's okay. Thank you so much. How was it like when you guys researched the hyper automation? How was the research for you guys? Can you hear me? Wonderful. Wonderful. Can you hear me? Wonderful. It seems we lost her. Okay. Anyways, that was one of the presentations, and I would admit that I enjoyed that presentation. It was nicely done. I wanted to ask more questions, but the network will not allow it. Anyways, thank you so much. Wonderful. Job well done. Congratulations. Well done. Okay, guys, let me be sure that you can hear me loud and clear, and you can see me loud and you can see me clearly. You can hear me clearly so that I can proceed with our presentation for today. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that presentation. We are truly grateful. I enjoyed the presentation, and we've lost her completely now. Okay, so today we are going to go into our presentation for today. Fantastic. You can see me, you can hear me. So let's make progress because we have a lot to cover today on our conversation. Let me make this a bit bigger. Great. So, okay, let's begin. Okay. Let's start this thing. Let's get this show on the road. So today we're talking about effective communication and effective presentation. Now, communication is very, very critical. You know, I always say this, that there are 3 skills that everybody needs to learn. 3 skills, right? Regardless of your profession, you need these 3 skills, right? Now, these 3 skills are: number 1, communication skill; number 2, negotiation skill; and number 3, selling skill. Now, these are 3 important skills that you must learn as a person, regardless of your profession, regardless of your discipline. You must have these 3 skills. So the first one is communication skill. The second is negotiation skill. And the third is selling skill. If you have these 3 skills, wherever you find yourself on the face of the planet, you'll be able to survive and thrive just having these 3 skills. Now, it's important that you understand this because in a few months from now, you're going to be out of school. You're going to be a graduate, and you need to be able to use these skills to your advantage. Remember, our LSC mantra says you must have certificates and certificates. Now, you know that everybody talk. As long as you have a mouth and you're not dumb, you talk. Everybody talk. But the truth is this: not everybody communicates. Talking is different from communicating. Are you getting this? Everybody talks, but not everybody communicates. So it's important you learn how to communicate, and it's important that your communication is effective. It's very important that your communication is effective. Now, what do we mean when we talk about effective communication? Now, okay, let me make this slide bigger so they can see this. They say the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has occurred. The single biggest problem in communication, it is the illusion that it has taken place, which means sometimes when we talk, we assume we have communicated. And I've said this to us over and over again. I say, when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Are you getting this? When you assume, A-S-S-U-M-E, you make an ass of you and me. So you should not assume. And interestingly, for some people, the biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. So they assume that because they are talking, they are communicating. That's not exactly true. All right? Now, effective communication in our world today is a vast, dynamic subject. It is no longer about speaking clearly. You know, some people feel like if they can speak Queen's English, if they have an accent, you know, they can say in it, you know, when they can speak with an accent, they feel they are communicating. No. Communication today is not just about speaking clearly. It's about navigating a complex digital and globalized environment. Because you know, in our world today, when you are texting, that's why we talked about social media etiquette the other time. When you are texting, you are communicating. In fact, most of the people you communicate with today, you don't even get to see them face to face. Are we getting this? Most of the people you communicate with the most today, you don't see them eyeball to eyeball, but you're always in communication with them. So effective communication today is about how you are able to navigate this complex digital and globalized environment. Are we still here? Is this making sense? I said this earlier. Everybody talks, but not everybody communicates. You have a mouth, you can talk, but doesn't mean you are communicating. Are we getting this? Communication is when the message sent is the message received, understood, and acted on. Now, if this was a physical class, I'll ask us to play a game. Now, this game would be that I will whisper something in your ear. I'll tell 10 people to be on a straight line, right? If this was a physical class, I'll tell 10 people to be on a straight line. If you are with your group members watching this, you probably can try this out. You tell your group members to be on a straight line. Let's say 10 members in the group. And you whisper something in the ear of the first person. Let the person whisper it in the ear of the next person. By the time it gets to the 10th person, I can assure you what you told the first person is not what the 10th person would say. If you say, I don't know what I'm saying, try it out with your roommates. Get 2 rooms together, 8 of you, and whisper to the first person. By the time you get to the 8th person, what you told the first person will be different from what the 8th person will be saying. In between the transfer of that information, somebody will add their own into it, and it will change. I've tried this severally, and I get the same results. Why? Because communication is when the message sent is the message received, understood, and acted on. If this does not happen, communication is said to not have occurred. I remember we said earlier that the biggest mistake in communication is the illusion that it has occurred. It's the illusion. We assume it has occurred. No. Communication is said to occur or said to have occurred when the message sent is the message received, understood, and acted on. So you see, when God told Moses to speak to the rock, Moses, out of anger, struck the rock. Are you getting this? So you must understand what communication is so that when you are communicating with people, you will be certain that it is the message that you send that they received, that they understood, and that they are acting on. Because for every communication, there is an action that must take place. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Now, there's something called the Abad-Mehrabian model of communication. You know, people used to think that because you talk, that's the highest of communication. No, not exactly. According to Abad-Mehrabian communication model, he discovered that 55% of communication is body language. Body language, which means your body is speaking even if your mouth is silent. Body language. How many of you grew up in homes where your mom just gets to look at you in a certain way and you know what she was saying? How many grew up in homes like that? Whether with aunties or grandmom, they look at you in a certain way. You get what they are telling you. They didn't have to say anything. Their body language has spoken. So Abad-Mehrabian says that 55% of communication is body language. So which means if I observe your body language, I can decode what you are saying that you are not saying. So see, when people fold their arms like this, they are defensive. It's body language. It's body language. They are communicating something. They are telling you are not welcome. They're telling you I'm not listening to what you are saying. It's body language. When you see people are angry, you see how they are fuming. It's body language. You can literally see it. And you know the beautiful part about body language is that you cannot hide it. You can't hide body language. It's obvious. If you pay attention, you will see it. So 55% of communication is body language. Then he said 38% of communication is your tone. You know, yesterday I was doing my live on YouTube and I said, I think I put too much energy. I think I get to shout a lot. I said, I don't want to shout anymore, right? So I'm trying my best today not to even shout, right? Why? Because when I listen to the playback, sometimes it looks like I'll just shout it. So I'm trying to calm down. Why? It's your tone. Because the certain tone you use, people will think that you are angry. Are you getting it? The second tone you will feel that something is wrong with you because of your tone. That's why you see that even when you're on the call with someone, right? You're on the call with somebody, you can know if the person is happy or sad based on their tone. Are you getting this? So 38% of communication is tone. Somebody say, oh, are you fine? I'm fine. The tone already lets you know that the fine the person is saying is not actually fine. Why? Because your tone plays a key role in communicating, and it is 38%. And guess what? Only 7% is your words. Only 7%. Which means your words are the lowest level of your communication. Your words. Now you understand when they say action speaks louder than words, because your action encompasses your body language and your tone of voice. Because when you're angry, it shows in your tone. When you're happy, it shows in your tone. When you're sad, it shows in your tone. So when they say action speaks louder than voice, it's because your action is the summation of both your body language and your tone of voice. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? So this is what Abad-Mehrabian discovered and said when it comes to communication, 55% is body language, what you can see, your face, your arms, your body, right? Your eye movement, your body movement, body language, 55%. 38%, your tone, your modulation, your pitch. And then 7%, your words. 7% your words. So now that you're understanding effective communication, you should now watch your body language and your tone than you do your words. Are you getting this? Is this making sense for you now? Now, when communication is not effective, guess what? It gives room for jumping into conclusion and making assumption. Let's be real, right? How many of us here have ever assumed? Remember, I told you, when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. How many of you have ever assumed before? They were saying something and you assume that was what they were saying. I have. In all honesty, I have. But I'm beginning to learn that when it comes to communication, you don't need to assume. And also, you don't need to jump into conclusion. This happened to us a lot, especially the female gender. We are always jumping into conclusion. We think we are smart, but we are not actually that smart. We are just jumping into conclusion. Wait to get clarity. Don't assume. Don't jump into conclusion. Get clarification and understanding. Are you getting this? Because somebody may be saying something else, you are thinking something else. Why? Because you are assuming and you are jumping into conclusion. And like I said, whenever you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Assume. So when your communication is not effective, it will give room for assumption. It will give room for jumping into conclusion, which means you are the one that is giving them the opportunity to assume and to jump into conclusion because your communication is not effective, which means you have to make your communication effective. Because if it is not effective, people will assume and people will jump into conclusion. Are we getting this? Is this making sense? Now, there are 5 C's of communication. Now, let me make this bigger so you can see it. What did I just do? There are 5 C's of communication. Number 1, your communication must be clear. It must be clear. And to be clear is about the goal and the purpose of your message. It must be clear. I told you, having an accent doesn't make you an effective communicator. That you can speak Queen's English, or you can speak American English, or you can speak an accent. It doesn't make you an effective communicator. What makes you an effective communicator is that 1, your communication is clear, which means it's clear about the goal and the purpose of the message. Number 2, your communication is concise. We call it the 7 C's of communication. 1, it is clear. 2, it is concise, which means you keep to the point. You keep your message short and simple. We call it KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it short and simple. And I like to tell people, when it comes to concise, never use 2 words where 1 suffice. Don't become like the former Honorable Patrick Obayagbo, who always use big words. It's a pitiable dismal. It is regrettably laborious. Don't use big words. Never use 2 words where 1 suffice. Because you have to be concise. The 3rd C is that it must be concrete. Be clear and not fuzzy. Provide details, but not too much detail. Be concrete. And then it should be correct. Make sure your message is accurate and grammatically correct. Are you getting this? Make sure your message is accurate and grammatically correct. Thank God now phones can download Grammarly. Use it to do your spell check. Your communication must have grammatical correctness. You know, when you see some people, when they write some things and you see grammatical errors, you are turned off. You're like, what is this? This doesn't make sense. So your communication needs to be correct. And then it has to be coherent, which means you make sure your message flows well and is laid out logically. It's going from step to step. It's not just going haphazardly. No, it's going logically. It's going from point A to point B. It has to be coherent. So this is sometimes when people are talking, they are not coherent. They'll say this, they'll say this, they'll say this, they'll say this. You'll be wondering, what are you actually saying? Why? Because they are not coherent. It has to flow. Are you getting this? And then it must be complete. Ensure that the recipient has everything they need to understand. Your communication must be complete. Give them all the information they need to have. And then your communication must be cautious. Your message should be polite, friendly, professional, and open. It must be cautious. You know, even the good book says, let your words be full of grace and seasoned with salt, that it may edify those that hear it. So it must be cautious. So these are the 7 C's for effective communication. It must be clear. It must be concise. It must be concrete. It must be correct. It must be coherent. It must be complete. And it must be cautious. These are the 7 C's of communication. So when you communicate, you must have all of these 7. Not 1 out of 7. 7 over 7. Are you getting this? You must have 7 over 7. You must be clear. You must be concise. You must be concrete. You must be correct. You must be coherent. You must be complete. And you must be cautious. This makes the 7 C's of effective communication. Does this make sense? Do you understand this? Right? Okay, so let's make progress. Now, there's a new landscape that we are in because communication has fundamentally changed. How many of you remember how life was before pandemic? And how many of you know how life is after pandemic? Are we still here? There was a world we lived in before the pandemic of 2020. And there's a world we live in now after the pandemic of 2020. We have a new landscape, and communication has fundamentally changed. Now, the digital revolution has transformed how we connect and understand this new terrain. So we must get good at mastering this modern communication. Communication has changed in the last 5 years. It has changed totally in the last 5 years. First off, we now have what is called the attention economy. So if you notice some of the topics I gave us, where I gave us topics for presentation, I asked us to select, you can see that some of the topics had about attention economy, digital economy. In the attention economy, you are no longer competing with other speakers. You are not competing with smartphones, notifications, and endless streams of content. The battle is for seconds of attention. They say the human attention span now is 8 seconds. The human attention span today is 8 seconds. It's the same as that of a goldfish. Why? Because any little thing, the big notification, your attention has gone. And have you noticed that if you are reading, for instance, and something takes your attention away from your book, it will take you at least another 5 minutes to get yourself back into reading mode. How many of you have noticed that? Let's say you were reading and then your phone rang or you saw a notification and you said you want to check the notification. When you go and check the notification, by the time you get back to your books, it will take you at least 5 minutes to put yourself back into reading mode. That's why they always advise that if you want to read, put your phone on flight mode. Because if you say, okay, I'll just check, sometimes you end up just pressing your phone all through without you even reading. You spend more time on your phone than you spend on reading your book. Why? Because you are in the attention economy. Everything is vying for your attention. Everything is vying for your attention. Why? Because that's how you now communicate. Also, there's what is called the digital first interaction. Now, a high proportion of our communication is now text-based. A high proportion of our communication. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed now? Guys, follow me closely. I really need you guys to see me while I'm saying this. Have you noticed now that people would rather text than call? Have you noticed it? How many have noticed it? People would rather text than call because they cannot talk. Most of our communication these days are not text-based. And even with the text, they are texting with abbreviations. They say, okay, let's talk about that. They say, no, let's text. Why? Because the person cannot string two sentences together. Cannot talk. Cannot talk. Oh, my word. So, a huge portion of our communication is now text-based, whether it's email, whether it's Slack, whether it's SMS, whether it's social media DMs, we are all texting. That's why I say these days that cheating does not start with sex. Cheating starts with text. Did you get that? I'll say that again. Cheating does not start with sex. Cheating starts with text. And when you are texting, it strips away tone and body language, creating a massive potential for misunderstanding. Have you noticed that it's easy for you to have misunderstanding with text? Have you noticed it? It's easy for you to have misunderstanding and assume when it's text. Very easy to assume when it's text because there's no tone, there's no body language. And then there's also the rise of the global village. We regularly now communicate across cultures and time zones. And this requires cultural intelligence and asynchronous communication skill. Somebody say text is low-key faster. Okay, no problem. And then we also have the proliferation of channels, from video calls and podcasts to Instagram stories and professional networking sites. Each platform has its own unwritten rules and best practices. You notice that the way you communicate on X, formerly Twitter, is not how you communicate on TikTok. The way you communicate on Instagram is not how you communicate on LinkedIn. Every of these platforms has its own communication style. Are you getting this? Because we have the proliferation of channels. And then we have the permanence and velocity. Digital communication is often permanent. Remember, I told us the internet never forgets. Never forget that. The internet never forgets. Digital communication is often permanent and can be shared instantly with a vast audience. A single message can become a public crisis in minutes. A single message can become a public crisis in minutes. Yes, there's Substack. I see that. Substack is also there. So how you communicate on these platforms vary. Are we still together? Is this making sense? Now, the core challenge of modern communication. What is the challenge in modern communication? The first challenge is the misinterpretation in text. Without vocal tone, a simple okay can seem cold, and a period can seem aggressive. We fill the void with our own insecurities. So text can be misinterpreted. You know when somebody is sending text with you, and the person just types K, in everything you are saying, you may write a long text, the person will just write K. You write a long text, the person will just write K. That's telling you that something is wrong. How many of that happened to before? You're texting somebody, you are just pouring out your heart, talking. The person will just be typing K, K, K. As though that's the only button that works in the phone. There's misinterpretation in text. There's also information overload. People are inundated with messages. Cutting through the noise to be heard and understood is incredibly difficult. So many information. There's information overload. It's a challenge in modern communication. There's also what is called the echo chamber effect. Now, social media algorithms show us content we agree with, polarizing the discourse and making it harder to communicate with those who hold different views. Have you noticed that the only things you see on your feed on Instagram are the things that you like? So you're not seeing what else is happening on Instagram apart from the things that you like. So that's what Instagram will keep showing to you. I was telling someone recently, I said, most of the things I see on my feed are a particular set of people. And those are the people that I follow. Why? Because it now puts you in a certain echo chamber. And then there's also the psychological barriers. The Zoom fatigue is real. The mental strain of constant video calls. There's also increased social anxiety and a decreased ability to focus for extended periods. Have you guys noticed that your best friend today is not the person you talk to? Your best friend today is not your phone. That's why you see there are a lot of people who are suffering from solitude and isolation. They isolate themselves from the world. They are more in this world, this phone world, than in the real world. Have you met people like that? They are more inside this phone than in real life. See, if you really want to punish somebody today, just tell them to drop their phone and let's have normal conversation. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Tell them to drop the phone and let's have normal conversation. You'll be shocked. You see two people in the same space, they'll be texting each other. They can't talk to each other. They'll be texting each other. They're in the same space. They'll be texting each other. We are all now inside this world than in the real world. Like I told us the last time, we no longer go online. We live online. We live online. And then there's crisis communication in real time. Bad news travels fast. So organizations and individuals must be prepared to communicate transparently and quickly during crisis. Remember there was the time we had crisis on campus. It was already trending on people's status. Bad news travels far. So individuals and organizations must be prepared to communicate transparently and quickly during a crisis. These are some of the core challenges of modern day communication. There's the misinterpretation in text. There's the information overload. There's the echo chamber effect. There's the psychological barriers. And there's the crisis communication in real time. Now, what is your modern communicator toolkit, which is the essential skills for today? Number one, understand the digital literacy and etiquette. C, channel selection, knowing when to send an email versus when to send a Slack message versus when to make a call. The rule of thumb is complex or sensitive, make a call. Are you getting this? So you must know what channel to use for what. Now, the praise public, criticize private rule. Never call someone out in public channel. Use a DM or a private message for sensitive issues. You know, some of you say you want to call out somebody in the group chat. Never call out someone in the public channel. You praise in public, you criticize in private. Always remember that rule. Praise in public, criticize in private. Because that public criticism can destroy the person's self-worth. It can destroy the person's self-esteem. It can destroy the person's self-image. So you are just saying your mind, but you have destroyed somebody's self-esteem, self-worth, and self-image. And if you notice, when that happens in group chat, those people, they leave the group. I don't know if you've noticed it. When that happens in a group chat, the person will leave the group and will never join the group again. Asynchronous communication. Creating a clear self-contained message, e.g. in an email or a project management tool that someone can understand and act on without reading and without needing an immediate conversation. Use bullet points or clear subject lines. So this is the digital literacy etiquette. Number one, know what channel to use. Know when to send an email or when to use a Slack or when to use a phone call. If it's a complex thing you want to discuss, use a phone call. Then the praise public, criticize private rule. Praise in public, criticize in private. Never call someone out in a public channel. Use your DM or private message for sensitive issues. Then asynchronous communication. Creating a clear, self-contained messages, e.g. in an email or a project. So you see, when we send our emails every Monday, we make it very clear that once you read it, you will understand it, except you have a comprehension problem. Number two, the cross-cultural intelligence. Understanding high and low context. In high context cultures like Japan and Middle East, communication is indirect and relationship is key. In low context culture like the US and Germany, communication is direct and explicit. Now, you may be wondering, why are we talking about things like this? We are preparing for a global citizenship. You're not just going to be a Nigerian citizen, you're going to be a global citizen. Have awareness of non-verbal norms. The concept of time, personal space, gesture, and formality, they vary drastically. You already know that if you're speaking to somebody in America, there's already time zone. Evening in Nigeria may be afternoon in America. There's already time zone. So you must understand the concept of time. You must understand the concept of personal space. You know that when you're talking to somebody face to face, there's a certain distance you should have from the person. Because everybody has their personal space. You must understand the use of gestures. And formality can vary dramatically. And also you must understand active listening and humility. Approach cross-cultural communication with a goal to understand, not to judge or assume positive intent. The goal is to understand. What is the cross-cultural intelligence? Are we getting this? Number three, the psychological safety and empathy. Creating safe spaces. Fostering an environment in teams, friendship, and families where people feel safe to express ideas, ask questions, and admit mistakes without fear of punishment or humiliation. You must be able to create psychological safe spaces and empathy for people, where people don't feel like their opinion is going to be put aside. Their ideas may not be heard. You must create safe spaces for them, where they feel safe to express their ideas, ask questions, and admit their mistakes without fear of judgment or humiliation. Thereby, you're helping to validate their emotions acknowledging how someone feels before moving to problem solving. This is a glue of trust. So when you acknowledge how someone feels, you can say, oh, I can see why that will be frustrating. You're acknowledging it before you say, okay, now let's solve the problem. That's it, creating a psychological safety and empathy in communication. Because the reason why some people cannot talk to you is because they don't feel safe with you. When they don't feel safe with you, they can never talk to you. Because psychologically, they don't feel safe. So they can never open up to you. Are we getting this? Number 4, critical consumption and media literacy. C, identifying misinformation. Check sources, checking for the sources, looking for biases, and understanding the difference between opinion and fact. And then responsible sharing. Pause before sharing emotionally charged content to verify its accuracy. You know, sometimes you say that you want to verify something, but yet you have posted the thing you want to verify. You are sharing it already. It says pause before sharing emotionally charged context to verify its accuracy. Pause first before sharing it. Pause. And let me also say this. Don't be pressured to share things because everybody is sharing it. You know, a few weeks ago, everybody was doing the Justice for All channel or something. Everybody put on their status. If you don't truly see, you believe in something, doesn't mean you put on your status. It doesn't mean you put on your status. Because a lot of people feel the pressure of, so it doesn't look like I'm the only one not talking about it. Now there's the killing and genocide happening in the country. Everybody put on their status. You are praying against it. You believe that it should not be happening. It does not mean you should put on your status. And it doesn't make you any less patriotic if you don't put on your status. Because you know now, there's a video I'm going to share with us in the group chat, right? When I post it, I'll share it with us so you guys can see it. The people who are making us share all of these things, they are doing it because they want us to not be thinking. Most of the things you share on your status, have you noticed that you don't think about it before you share it? That's why they make sharing very easy. Before, to share, you have to go and download and not share. Now they made it easy. You just click reshare. It's on your status again. You are not thinking before you share. They are playing a smart game on us and we are falling for it. We now have the scrolling class and the reading class. There's a class of people now that all they do is scroll. They don't even read. They make the sharing button easy for you now. Before you go and download, then you now share on your status. Now you don't have to download again. Just share. Just click the reshare. You have shared. And most of the things you reshare, you don't even think about it. You just reshare. See, let me tell you guys, the battle is fierce. They are making you no longer think and you're falling for it. Half of the things that you reshare, do you really think about it before you reshare? Let's be honest. Half of the things that you reshare on WhatsApp, do you think through before you reshare? No, you just click, you reshare. You're not a bad person if you're not reposting. You're not a bad person. I assure you, you're not a bad person. You are not. You saw what happened about that Uber driver. People did not get the real facts. Everybody was resharing. When they not got the real fact, now to reshare the good news, it was not difficult. Some people did not even know the story. They just saw reshare. Think. Think. I'll share that video with us tomorrow morning. I'll share it with us. I'll share the link with us. Stopping you guys from thinking, guys. They are stopping you guys from thinking. Justice for Ochana. Everybody was sharing. Everybody was sharing. Let me get back to the class. Number 5, storytelling with data. In a data-saturated world, the ability to make numbers meaningful is a superpower. This means using data to tell a human story with clear visuals or a compelling narrative. And number 6, concise and scalable communication. Concise and scalable communication, the bluff method, which means bottom line up front. You start with your main point or request, then provide supporting context. In the formatting for skimming, you use headlines, bullet points, bolding, and paragraphs. You say people don't read, they scan. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Now, communicating in a specific modern context. Remember, there's a lot of hybrid and remote work that's in play today. Hybrid and remote work. Now, for over-communicating intent, since you can't use body language, explicitly state your intent. Are you getting this? Explicitly state your intent. I am sharing this feedback because I'm excited about this project and I want it to succeed. Now, because you cannot show your body language or your tone, you must explicitly state your intent. You must now be explicit with your words. And then, intentional water cooler moments. Create virtual spaces for non-work related conversations to build rapport. You can have virtual coffee chats, dedicated Slack channels for hobbies, where you can just gist. Notice that we do that sometimes a lot. I'll just say, let's gist. We'll gist about something, then we'll get serious again. While I'm trying to create intentional water cooler moments. Then, mastering video calls. Have you seen people that don't know how to do video calls? They are doing video calls. You see only their forehead. Have you seen people like that? They are doing video calls. Only their forehead you'll be seeing. You see their forehead like this. Their forehead is all you'll be seeing. That's not how to do video call. You must learn how to do video calls with your camera on. Because that helps you to build connection, especially when you are doing remote work. You see the way you can see me clearly now. You don't just see my forehead like this. No, you see me clearly. And then for remote work, you must be agenda-driven. Every meeting should have a clear goal and agenda beforehand. Because it's remote. You don't have time to waste. You don't have data to waste. And then inclusive facilitation. Actively call on people for input to avoid having only the loudest voice heard. So when it's a call online, you call people so that they participate. Call their names. Oh, XYZ, you have not said anything. What's your opinion on this? Actively call them so they be part of the meeting. So you are not the loudest voice. So you notice while I'm teaching, I'm reading your comment, I'm saying it out. Are you getting this? Actively get people involved when you are doing video calls because you must learn this. It's part of your modern communication context, hybrid and remote work. I told you the last time that we are now in the gig economy. Not many of you are going to do civil service jobs anymore. When you work for a place for 35 years, 25 years, that era is gone. You guys are moving from one remote work to the next. You are doing gig economy. You can be working for 3 different countries from Nigeria. It's gig economy. So you must understand how remote work and hybrid work is done. In some places in Lagos, you go to the office 3 times a week. You do the remaining 2 days at home. Hybrid and remote work are part of the modern day world. The B, social media and personal branding. In communication today, social media and personal branding play a very huge role. Remember, you are what you post. Jesus said in scripture, by their fruit, you will know them. In today's world, by their posts, you will know them. I say this all the time. There's always one stupid contact that everybody has that's posting rubbish on WhatsApp. True or not true? There's always one person in everybody's contact that is posting spoil. One person. Only the person who post video that they are open breast, that they are twerking, that is like soft porn. Only one person. There's always one contact that everybody has that does not have sense on WhatsApp. There's always one contact everybody has that does not have sense. Is that you block the person or you have deleted the person? You had the one contact at one point that didn't have sense. Why in our world today, your social media is part of your personal branding. You are what you post. Your digital footprint is your modern day resume. Your digital footprint is your modern day resume. Communicate in a way that builds the reputation you want. I'll say that again. Communicate in a way that builds the reputation you want. Like I said, by their post, you shall know them. There is what is called adding value versus adding noise. Don't let what you post be noise. Let what you post be value. Share insight, useful information, support others. Don't just broadcast. Don't just be making noise. Be adding value. Are you getting this? Don't just be making noise. Be adding value. There's also what is called engaging in disagreement. Don't feed the trolls. Engage respectfully with differing opinions or disengage gracefully. Did you get that? Engage respectfully with differing opinion or disengage gracefully. Your mantra should be strong opinions, weakly held. So that's for social media and personal branding. And then there's leadership and management. There's radical transparency. In a distrustful world, transparency builds trust. Share the why behind your decisions. And then there's the vulnerability-based leadership. Admitting I don't know or I made a mistake make you more human, reliable, and trustworthy. And then there's continuous feedback. Move away from the dreadful annual review. Foster a culture of ongoing, constructive, and forward-looking feedback. We say this all the time, that feedback is the breakfast for champions. So take feedback. Even Jesus asked the disciples, who do men say that I am? He was asking for feedback. Who do men say that I am? And then they said, oh, some say you are John the Baptist, some say you are Elijah. He said, okay, fine. Who do you say that I am? And then Peter said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus replied, flesh and blood has not revealed that to you, but my Father which is in heaven. So Peter, you will be called the rock, and upon this rock of revelation, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Are you getting this? If Jesus asks for feedback, who are you not to ask for feedback? Ask for feedback. Feedback is the breakfast for champions. Are you getting this? Now, the golden rule for the 21st century. Modern communication is not just about perfection. It's about connection and clarity in a noisy, complex world. Modern communication is not about perfection. It's about connection in a noisy, complex world. It's about connection and clarity. The goal is to ensure your intent is understood despite the limitations of the medium and the distraction of the environment. Now, what is your final checklist for modern communicator? Before you send the message or start the meeting, ask, is this the right medium for this message? Which means the channel. Understand the audience. Who am I talking to? And what is their context? Understand the intent. What is my goal? What do I want them to know, feel, and do? Understand clarity. Is my point immediately obvious, or is it a bluff, or is it scannable? Understand empathy. Have I considered how this will make the other person feel on the other side of the screen? Because you're not just talking to the screen, there's somebody on the other side of the screen. How will it make them feel? Understand empathy. Understand safety. Am I fostering trust and psychological safety? And understand response. Am I prepared to listen and engage with the response that I get? This must be your checklist before you begin the communication, before you send the message, or before you start the meeting. Are you understanding this? Is this making sense? Now, for effective communication, it must connect. For communication to be effective, it must connect. And by connect, we mean it must catch everyone's trust and attention. It must be organized and clarify the vision. You name the roles, the challenges, and the goals. You nurture and inspire leadership and unity. You empower team spirit, resilience, and results. You correct performance, conflict, and attitude. And you tell and teach the mission and purpose. So you need to be able to connect. Right? Now, let's get to effective presentation. Now, finish with communication. Let's get to effective presentation. And then we'll take all the questions that we need to take because of time. Now that we understand how to communicate, we now need to know how to present ourselves. Now, communication is one thing. Please note your questions that you may have, because I like to really take questions at the end. Note your questions down so you don't forget them. Write them down somewhere in your notepad or your notebook, on your phone. Just write it somewhere. You can split screen on your phone, split the screen to your notepad and the video you're watching right now, so you can take notes. Now that you know how to communicate, you must also now know how to make presentation, because the two go hand in glove. Communication, presentation. Are we together? I said this earlier. 3 skills everybody must learn: communication skill, negotiation skill, and selling skill. Communication skill, negotiation skill, and selling skill. You know, Abraham had a very good negotiation skill with God. When God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham negotiated from 50 to 10. He told God, if you find 50 righteous people, would you still destroy? God said no. He said, if you find 40, God said no. You find 30, God said no. You find 20, God said no. You find 10. He negotiated from 50 to 10. You must learn to negotiate. It's a skill you must learn. You must learn to negotiate. I recommend that you go watch a movie called Air, A-I-R. Go watch that movie. It's about Michael Jordan and Nike. You will see how Michael Jordan's mother, Dolores Jordan, was able to negotiate Michael Jordan's contract with Nike that made Michael Jordan a millionaire at the time he signed the contract with Nike. Good negotiation skill. Go watch the movie Air. That's the title of the movie, A-I-R, Air. You find it on Prime. You will see how negotiation paved the way for Michael Jordan's career with Nike, because the mother was able to negotiate. In fact, let me just give you a heads up of that story. The mother told Nike that for Michael to sign for Nike, Nike needs to give Michael Jordan a percentage for all the Air Jordan that Nike was creating. You know, there's a brand of Nike that is called Air Jordan. And they created after Michael Jordan. So the mother said, without Michael getting a percentage from every of the sale they will make from Air Jordan, she's not going to allow Michael to sign for Nike. And then Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, said, okay, it's fair. Let's agree, let's sign the contract with them. Guess what? In the first year of that deal, prior to that time, Nike has sold in a year $3 million. In a whole year, $3 million. But when they signed that contract with Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan's percentage was $14 million. So imagine if the mother had not negotiated, she would have lost out. So sometimes the reason you are losing out from what you should get is because you don't have negotiation skill. And you see, the market woman understands negotiation skill. When you go to the market, when you say, how much now? You say 100 naira. They say 100 naira. You say, 1,000. You say, madam, you not say 800. You say, no. You walk away. When you walk away and you see that she's not calling you back, you yourself will come back and buy 1,000. She has good negotiation skill as a market woman. You need to have that skill too. And I always say this, that the most powerful person on any negotiation is the person that is willing to walk away without taking the deal. The person is willing to walk away without taking the deal. So it's another full class for negotiation skill that you need to learn. And then there's selling skill. Whether you like it or not, we are all selling. We are all selling. We are all salespeople. Some of us feel, oh, I don't like to sell. I don't like to sell. Whether you like it or not, you are selling. Oh. You are selling. That's your vision. You are selling it. That's your idea. You are selling it. Even when you're asking a girl out, you are selling yourself. When the girl says yes, you are sold. You are all selling. When you are even preaching the gospel, you are selling Christ. When they receive Christ, you are sold. So we are all selling. We are all selling. We must learn selling skill. Are we together? So these are 3 skills that everyone must learn and master. How to communicate, how to negotiate, and how to sell. Now, mastering communication today is a lifelong practice. It requires adaptability, empathy, and a conscious effort to bridge the gap that our digital and global world has created. By focusing on these principles, you build stronger relationships, you lead more effectively, and you ensure that your voice is not just heard, but understood. Yes, there's a class for selling skill. Yes, we have a class for selling skill. This is our class of communication. Now, effective communication and presentation is the cornerstone of success in almost every field, from leadership and sales to teaching and personal relationship. It's the cornerstone of every success in every field, effective communication and presentation. Now, when it comes to communication, when it comes to presentation, you must understand what is called the 4M. Now, what is the 4M? First, the message. Because you are presenting something, what's the message? 2, the medium. What channel are you using to present it? 3, the method. How are you presenting it? 4, the mastery. Have you mastered the presentation? These are the 4 M's of effective presentation: the message, the medium, the method, and the mastery. Now, let's look at the blueprint for a powerful presentation. A good presentation is a story with a clear beginning, middle, and ending. Now, let's start with the foundation. Preparation and strategy. First, you have to define the goal. What do you want your audience to know, to feel, and to do after your presentation? I always say this, that when you make a presentation, 3 things will happen. When you make a presentation, 3 things happen. Number 1, people will either clap, right? People will either sleep. And number 3, people will take action. So if when you're presenting and people are clapping, that will not be your goal, because they can clap and not do anything. Also, when you're making presentation and people are sleeping, that is even worse, because you are boring them out. That's why they're sleeping. The goal of an effective presentation is that people will take action with what they have heard. Are you getting this? So the goal is not to say, oh, they're clapping for you. In fact, they can clap you away from the stage so that you can leave, because you're boring them. Students do that a lot. When they want somebody to leave the stage, they'll be clapping. So the person will leave. So don't use the applause as a reason that you are doing something right. No. What shows that you are doing something right in your presentation is what they do with the presentation. Are you getting this? What they do with the presentation is the effect of a powerful message, is what they do with the message. So when you go to church on Sunday, when they ask you, how was the service? Very powerful. Very powerful. Makes sense. What did you learn? Powerful. Powerful. What did you learn? Powerful. You didn't learn anything. Because the effect of a powerful message is that you will do something with what you heard. The woman by the well heard the message from Jesus. She went into the town of Samaria and brought everybody to the well. That's a powerful message. She went into the town of Samaria, brought everybody to the well to meet Jesus. Say, come and meet the man who told me everything I've ever done. Is this not the Messiah? So the effect of a powerful message is what you do with the message. Not that you clap, not that you sleep. Are you getting this? So you must define what you want your audience to know, to feel, and to do after your presentation. And then you must analyze your audience. Who are they? What do they already know? You must understand the psychography and the demographic of your audience. Are they male? Are they female? Are they young people? Are they elderly? Are they young? Are they teenagers? Are they kids? Understand the demographics. Understand the psychographics. How do they think? This will help you to craft your message in a way that it resonates with them. So when I'm teaching you guys, I use examples that you can relate with. When I'm teaching bankers and professionals, I use examples that they can relate with. I cannot go and be teaching professionals, bankers. I'll be telling them, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, to bankers. I'm not a serious person then. But for you guys, I can be doing clock it. I can do the paper. I can do all of those things. But I cannot go and do that with professionals. So you must understand your audience and craft your message in a way that they can receive it. Number 2, understand the structure, the classic narrative arc, the opening 10 minutes, the hook. You know, they talk about this on social media these days. The hook, the 5 seconds hook. How to grab the attention and set the stage. You can start with a surprising statistics. You can start with a compelling story. You can ask a provocative question or a powerful quote. Whichever way you want to start, you must have a strong opening for your presentation. And see, guys, presentation is so powerful. See, if I want everybody to feel sad in this class right now, I will just start telling a sad story. Before you know it, some of you will be shedding tears and be feeling bad for me. That's how powerful communication is. Then you must state your topic and your core message. Clearly tell them what you are going to talk about. And you must have an agenda, a roadmap. You outline the structure of your talk. First, we look at the problem, then the solution, and how we can implement the solution. Are you getting this? These are your presentation should follow. And then you have the body of your message. Always use the rule of 3. I don't know if you have noticed when I preach in chapel, I always just say 3 points. Because it's easier for people to remember 3 than remember 12 or 21. So sometimes when they say 14 lessons for greatness, you only remember lesson 1 or lesson 14. You forget lesson 2 to 13 because it's too much. Even God had to make the commandment only 2, love God and love people. Because in the 10 commandments, the first 3 is to love God. The last 7 is to love people. So Jesus had to break it down and say, the whole commandment is summed up in love. Love God and love people, which is love your neighbor as yourself. Are you getting this? Then support your talk with evidence. Like you guys will say, evidence choke. Evidence choke. Support your talk with evidence. Use data, stories, examples to back up your point. That way it gets to stick with the people who hear that presentation. Then use transitions. Guide your audience smoothly from one point to the next. So you say, okay, now that we have seen the problem, let's now see the solution. Guide them. Then the last part is the closing. Reinforce your call to action. Summarize your key points. Reiterate your core message. And end with a powerful quote or a call to action. You know when they say drop mic, end powerfully. Or you end with a memorable statement. A final story, a final quote, or a compelling vision. Those of you who've heard me speak, you always hear me say this, that never mix business with pleasure. Once you hear me say that, you know I've come to the end. I'll say never mix business with pleasure. But the only time you are allowed to mix business with pleasure is when you tell the people it has been a pleasure doing business with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure doing business with you. End with a compelling quote or a compelling vision or a final story. That's where they will always remember that presentation. Are you getting this? Now then, you must also learn to use visual aids and delivery. So you see the presentation that Wonderful did earlier, the slide was beautiful, visual aid. Because as a presenter, you must meet all of the visual representation. There are people who are visual, they like to see pictures. There are people who are kinesthetic, they like to do something. There are people who are auditory, they like to hear. As a good presenter, you must meet all of these areas. So your presentation must have pictures for the visual. It must have audio, something that you play that people can listen to. You must have kinesthetic, something that people get to do in the class. That way you are connecting with every group of persons in the audience. So you see, when we always start our LSD class, we have our song that we play. It's part of keeping you engaged for people who love visuals and audio. I know that some of you now, you already have that song in your own phone that you play by yourself. When you want to get yourself into the mood for work, you start playing the song. It puts you in the mood, right? Why? Because you've been able to create something visual for you while we do the class here. And then we have slides, so you get to see the pictures. You can barely see it, I understand. You can barely see the slides. Now, my slide is this way because I had to put in all the content so you can see it. I will share the slide like I always do. If you need the slide, send me a DM. I'll send you the slide personally. Right? Let me give you an example of another kind of slide that I do. This one is because of the presentation purpose. Let me show you a slide that I did recently. I did this slide yesterday for a presentation I'm doing on Monday somewhere. What's the topic again? Growth mindset. Let me show you an example of the kind of slide that I normally do. I use this because of the teaching, so I have to put a lot of things so I can use it to teach. But look at my slide that I normally do is usually not worded like this. It's loading. You have 35 minutes left. Okay, so let me show you the slide. See the slide. See the slide? Growth mindset. Fixed mindset, growth mindset. Fixed and growth. How do you see yourself? Simple. What will people say? Your mistakes don't define you. Your past does not equal your future. Are you ready? What does ready mean? Responsibility, exposure, audacity, discipline, you. Your personal mantra. Let's take questions. I can, I must, I will, mentality. I'm done. So you can see. So because of this, I get to do all of this so that we can understand this. So the polish, visual aid and delivery. Visual aid, show. Show in and show and tell. So don't just show and tell. Slides are a good support, but not the star. So you are the presentation. Slides are just the visual aids. Are you getting this? You are the one making presentation. You see some people when they are doing presentation, they are reading the slide. As much as I have a slide, I'm not talking from the slide. The slide is just to guide me, but I'm saying this off my head. Are you getting this? So when you're making presentation, don't read your slide. Less is more. Use minimal context. The 5-5-5 rule is a good rule of no more than 5 words per line, 5 lines per slide, or 5 heavy texts in a row. The 5-5-5 rule. And use high impact visual. A powerful image or a graph or a diagram is more effective than a bullet point. So see, the other slide I showed you just now had just pictures. You are the presentation, not the slide. And then you must master your delivery. Practice, practice, practice. Master your delivery. You must rehearse out loud. Time yourself to practice. Practice in front of a mirror. Record yourself as you're practicing. That way, you're able to manage your nerves. So you can refrain from anxiety. You can be able to breathe. You can be able to have your power pose. And then you can focus on your message and not on yourself. Are you getting this? Now, the next thing in your delivery, you must engage the audience. You are making a presentation to an audience. You must engage them. You must ask rhetorical questions or direct questions. You can use polls or interactive tools. And you must incorporate relevant stories and humor. You notice that in this presentation, I've already incorporated Omona, clock it. Relevant stories and humor. You must engage your audience. Are we getting this? So you're not just talking to your slide. You're talking to an audience. You must engage them. Eye contact. Ask questions. Get them to be involved. Are you getting this? Special considerations and advanced techniques. How do you handle Q&A? You know, handling question and answer session is also important in presentation because after presentation, people get to ask you questions. So you must be able to prepare and anticipate the most likely questions you'll be asked. And then you must listen carefully to the entire question. And sometimes you need to repeat or rephrase the question so the audience can hear it. And also, it's okay to say that I don't know, but I will find out and get back to you. When you are the one presenting, it doesn't mean that you are the Alpha and Omega. It doesn't mean that you know everything. No. You must be honest with your audience and say, oh, this question you asked, I don't know it, but I will go back, research, and get back to you on it. Easy peasy. Now, when it comes to visual presentations, you must test your tech. Check your mic, what is working. I'll give you just an example. Some weeks ago in the office, I did my live on Friday. And then, guess what? I realized that my microphone was off. I finished talking for 1 hour. I've even gone home and slept. It was the next day, somebody put a comment on the YouTube video and said, there is no sound. I was like, Jesus, no sound. So I had to redo the live again the next day. All because I did not check my mic if it was working. And since then, anytime I want to go live, I'll check my mic first. I cannot come and repeat my presentation. Because that day I was speaking from my head for 1 hour. If you ever watch my live every Fridays on Mr. Upgrade Global, I speak on my head. I don't have script for it. And then that 1 hour just gone like that because my mic was not on. I was just talking, I didn't notice. In fact, I noticed at some point, but I did not check if it was on. It was really stressful, Max. It was stressful. It was really stressful. But I had to do it again. And I've learned my lesson. So when you're doing visual presentation, you test your mic. You test your camera. You test your mic. You check your internet connection. Because if your internet connection is poor, it will affect your presentation. That's why you see that when people are asking you for remote work roles, they tell you a particular kind of internet connection you should be using. Ask people who are doing remote work, they will give you a specification of the kind of network you should be using, the kind of speed your internet should have if you want to do remote work with them. Because you cannot be giving them the excuse that, oh, my internet is bad, my internet is bad. You're not serious. You're not serious. You're not serious. And for visual presentation, you need to learn to look at the camera. That way, it helps to stimulate eye contact. Look at the camera. Some of you say, oh, I'm camera shy. You're not ready for this new generation, though. You cannot be camera shy. Look at the camera. To maintain eye contact. So you see, the way I'm looking at you now, it looks like I'm right in front of you. I'm not hiding away from the camera. I'm not shy. No. Look at the camera. It helps to stimulate eye contact because in communication, there must be eye contact. Then you optimize your environment. Ensure that the lighting is good. Your environment is clean. And you have a professional background. Are you getting this? And then you must be energetic. You know, I say I don't want to shout, right? I cannot be a willow. I don't want to shout. But you must be energetic, especially in an online presentation. Otherwise, your audience will be bored. Your audience will just put you, your audience will be there, but they'll put you on mute. They'll be doing other things. You know that's what happens a lot in online presentation. People will be there, but they are not there. Because you are not engaging. You are not showing energy. Then you must also learn how to use storytelling. The most powerful tool in your arsenal is storytelling. We are all wired to remember stories. So frame your data and your ideas within a narrative structure. Whether it's a challenge, a journey, or a resolution, you must craft your story. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Now, the golden rule and your final checklist. The golden rule of all communication It's not about what you say. It's about what they understand and remember. Never forget this. It's not about what you say. Remember this. It's not about what you say. It's about what they understand and what they remember. So before you present, what's your checklist? Number one, is my core message crystal clear? Number two, have I tailored this for my specific audience? Number three, does my structure have a compelling opening, a logical body, and a strong closing with a call to action? Have I replaced text with visuals where possible? Have I practiced my delivery out loud multiple times? And then, am I prepared to connect with my audience through eye contact and passion? You must ask yourself these questions before you mount that stage to make that presentation. Now, effective communication and presentation is a skill, is not a talent. It can be learned, practiced, and mastered. By focusing on your audience, structuring your message thoughtfully, and delivering it with authentic confidence, you can inform, persuade, and inspire anyone. The goal of effective communication and presentation is for you to be able to inform, persuade, and inspire. That's the goal. Now, effective communication and presentation is summarized in what I call HAIL. There must be honesty, there must be authenticity, there must be integrity, and there must be love. Somebody said, I clocked that. Clock it. Come on now. Clock it. Right? You must hail. There must be honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love with your communication and your presentation. So at this point, we get to take questions. So guys, let's take questions. We have 20 more minutes left. So let's take questions. Have you learned something today? Has this been worth your while? So let's take questions, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Let's take questions before we call it a wrap. So have you learned something on communication and presentation before we call it a wrap for today? So let's take questions. So I want to sincerely appreciate all the 133 persons who have joined us today. Yes, last time we had 300. Today we have 133. The numbers are reducing as well. Thank you for saying it's a great session, but let's take questions. Let's take questions. We still have some time. I really want us to take some questions so that you can get more clarity on the conversation. So let's take your questions if you have. You should have questions. So who wants to go first? Okay, someone says, how do you make the images on your slides? Well, I pick pictures from Google and put to fit what I have in my head. Now, there are AI apps that can help you make slides, but I also discourage you using AI apps to do slides, right? Use your own mind to think out how you want to design your slides, right? I use normal PowerPoint and I design my slides from scratch. So use your head to design. Don't use AI to design. Is assumption that bad? Yes, assumption is bad. Assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. In fact, assumption is no knowledge. Assumption is no knowledge. It's not even the lowest, it's no knowledge. Instead of assumption, seek for clarity. Don't assume. Because when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. So don't assume. Okay, someone asked a question. So how many group members are able to communicate? Sir, how group members are able to communicate effectively when someone in the group has a past experience with his or her group member and they can't communicate effectively because they have been blocked? Hey, go and look for your group leader and make peace. I don't know why they blocked you, but go and look for a group leader and make peace and sort yourself out, right? Now, one of the reasons why we are using the grouping system is so that you guys can learn teamwork. Yes, that's why we are doing it. So you guys can learn teamwork. You can learn transparency and integrity, work as a team, work as a group, right? So that's why we are using the group system. So sorry that you are having this challenge, but it's a good challenge. You can solve it. Go speak with your group leader or send me a DM. I'll speak with your group leader on your behalf and find out what the issues are, why they blocked you. You may have done something, that's why they blocked you, Sha, but it's okay. You can fix that. You came late. What's CTA? CTA is call to action. CTA is call to action. What you want them to do at the end of your presentation is call to action. Why do most people decide to assume, especially with close persons? Yes, because they are not seeking for clarity. That's why they assume. The reason people assume is because they don't seek for clarity. They don't seek clarification. When you seek out clarity, you will not assume. How do I learn and nurture communication, negotiation, and selling skills? There are videos on YouTube you can watch and you can learn from and go and practice. Like I always say that the proof of any learning is practice, and the proof of practice is result. So to know that you are good with communication, you actually go and communicate. To know that you are good with selling, you actually go and sell. To know that you are good with negotiating, you actually go and negotiate. Don't assume in your head. You know, in your head, you can do everything right. Don't assume in your head. Go and actually practice. That's when you know how good you are or how not good you are. You know, there are 4 stages of learning. Let me just say this quickly. There are 4 stages of learning. The first part is the unconscious incompetence. When you don't know that you don't know. And then there's the conscious incompetence, where you now know that you don't know. And then there's the conscious competence, when you know, but you're very conscious because you know. And then there's the unconscious competence, where you know, but you don't even think that you know it. And everybody has to go through all of this stage in learning. So I'll give you an example. When you're learning to cook rice, right, to boil rice, when you are just starting out, when you want to put salt, you take spoonful to measure the salt that you put. At a certain stage, when you get to the unconscious competence, you just sprinkle the salt, and your ancestors will tell you when to stop. How can an information be communicated effectively where the persons involved are not open-minded to the particular conversation? Very deep question. Now, how do you communicate effectively where the persons involved are not open-minded to that particular conversation? Well, I think what you get to do in that situation is to find out where they are regarding that conversation you are bringing. Because people already have a certain bias towards some certain things. Find out what their biases are and then meet them there to not carry them to where you want them to be. Are you getting this? That's why you see that Jesus did not wait for the disciples to come and meet him. He went to meet them where they were. And then he raised their level of thinking to his level. So find out where they are with their biases and then help them to come out from it. Thank you. This is really informative. Thank you so much. Assumption is no knowledge. That's true. No knowledge at all. Okay, I love this. How do you handle nervousness while presenting? This is why you must practice, practice, practice. Practice with yourself. Practice with your mirror. Practice with your roommate. That way you are building confidence in yourself. In fact, you don't even need your roommate. Practice, do yourself a video recording. Record yourself so you can see how you are performing. Record yourself. Record yourself while you are presenting so you can spot your errors and your mistakes and you can correct them. Are you getting this? So to handle nervousness, practice, practice, practice. Even me, sometimes I still feel nervous. This is me that I've been speaking for how many years now? I still feel nervous sometimes. See, one of the most difficult stages to preach in this life is BIU Chapel. Those people, hey, Saloba, those people, BIU Chapel, Cherry Legacy Campus, hey, Jesus, Jesus, those people. I was there last week. Yes, practice, practice, practice. That's where you handle nervousness while you're presenting, because you already have confidence in yourself while you're presenting. You try communicating to the person. Send me a DM. We'll talk about this later. How can one overcome stage fright when presenting? Same thing, practice. And how can you control your tone during presenting? Watch your voice. You know, some of you say, that's how I talk. That's not how you talk. Be calming down. You see, I've been trying myself today to calm down. You know, it's more poised. It's more polished when you're calm. Are you getting this? You don't have to shout. Loudness is not a sign of authority. Are you getting that? Loudness is not a sign of authority. Because you can still tell somebody, and they are still fired. You don't have to shout, you are fired. You don't have to. You can whisper you are fired, and they are still fired. Loudness is not a sign of authority. You see, a soldier, if he's on the road, he put his hand on the road and says stop. He will stop and park. He doesn't need to shout. Authority is not in loudness, right? So you must learn to control your tone. Control your tone. Speak with your natural voice. Right? Speak with your natural voice. Your voice can be amazing. Really amazing. I have a song that is coming out in December. 2 songs. An EP that has 2 spoken word songs. Beautiful. When you hear those songs, I've shared it with a few persons already. When you hear it, you'll not believe it's me. Watch out for December 19th. It's going to be released on all musical platforms, right? No wahala. Yes, so that's what you do. You control your voice. Use your natural voice. Use your natural tone. You don't have to be loud to communicate. You don't have to be loud. So tone it down. Be calming down. Calming down. Okay, being a leader in a group where people are not responsive, how do you do your best to engage them? But they are still not responsive. What can be done in that case? Because it is really draining. Try again. Try again. You know, I think I need to take this group seriously even from 100 level now, so at least they don't get to suffer this in final year. Right? Try again. Because when you leave BI, you are still going to meet human beings. You are still going to lead groups. In fact, you lead groups in NYC camp. You lead your platoon. You need to be able to be convincing. You must also learn to be persuasive. That's what makes you a leader. You don't have to be a student leader for you to be a leader. You are first a leader of yourself. It's called personal leadership, right? So still engage them. Go back and reach out to them. Let them know that your success is predicated on their participation. Right? And then you can reach out to me. I will tell you on more things to do to help them, right? What techniques help in engaging an audience during presentation? You can ask questions. You can crack a joke. But let me tell you, when it comes to cracking a joke, make the joke about yourself. Oh. Don't crack a joke with a member of the audience. They may never forgive you. Make the joke about yourself. Are you getting this? When you want to make a joke, make the joke about you. Let them laugh at you instead. Don't make a joke about them. Don't say, oh, Look at your wig. You look like sponge. Don't make that kind of joke. You'll be very sassy and rude. Don't do those. Don't do that. Like Eric would say, don't mention, no, we don't do that here. Don't do that. Right? You can engage them in a joke. You can engage them with a story. You can engage them with a game. You can engage them with a quiz. Those of you who have watched me do presentation, sometimes I'll tell people to bring out a sheet of paper, fold it into 2 halves, tear out the top right corner, fold it into 2 halves again, tear out the top left corner, fold it into 2 halves, put a hole in the middle, then open it again. Look out for different ways to engage your audience. And then the engagement is also contextual to the kind of audience you have. There's some things you can do for a male-dominated audience that you cannot do for a female-dominated audience. You must be smart as a presenter. What if you are communicating and the second party just don't get it? Well, you may be communicating in a way that is difficult for them to understand. Remember, I told you that communication is when the message sent is understood, is received, understood, and acted on. So if they are not getting it, perhaps they are not passing it well. So don't look at them as the problem. Look at you as the problem. Something happened to me recently, and I felt really bad when it was brought to my attention. And I felt, I thought I was doing better. But then I realized my mistakes, and I took the feedback. That's me, me that feel like I'm Odogu in communication. So if you feel like they are not getting it, watch how you are communicating it. You may be the one in the wrong. So swallow your pride, because your pride is calorie-free. So swallow it and communicate better. Is that okay? How can I maintain professionalism and still engage my audience? You don't have to be a comedian. Maintain your professionalism by sticking to the reason why you are there. Stick to why you are there. Stick with purpose. You came there to do a presentation. The focus should be the presentation. Don't be carried away. Don't be distracted. Are you getting this? You maintain professionalism and you engage your audience. Somebody said assumption is good when you need to make a quick decision, and waiting for perfect info would slow down everything. Assumption is never good. Sorry, assumption is never good. It is never good. I will not allow you to think this way. Assumption is never good. Please, don't make assumption. I told you earlier, when you make assumption, when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Don't assume. Don't. How do you deal with an audience if after teaching, they said that they don't understand? It is well, though. You know, I often say this, that when you teach, when you finish a presentation, 2 things happen. It's either they understand completely or they don't understand anything at all. If they don't understand, you leave them to God. But they show that you've done your best. If they say they don't understand, there's nothing you can do. Because I realize that in today's world, a lot of people still have comprehension problem. They don't comprehend. It's not your fault. Right? It's not your fault. If you've done your best, you leave the rest. Once you're having a discussion with a group of people, but you have explained your reasoning is the best way that can be understood, but you are still not being understood. So how can you communicate? How can communication be effective? Having a discussion with a group of people, but you have explained your reasoning in the best way that can be understood, but you are still not being understood. So how can you communicate? How can the communication be effective? Like I said, try to meet them where they are. That's because you may be talking from your high horse. Try to meet them where they are. Yeah, try to meet them where they are. You notice that while we've been doing LSC this period, I've not been saying, attendance. I just want people who want to be here to actually learn. Today we've been at 133 so far. In the class where we're supposed to be 1,000, less than 10% is here. Will I keep myself? No. We move on. We move on. But the consequences are with them when we move. Right? So come down to their level. Perhaps they will begin to understand. Come down to their level. Right? You know, God had to use the burning bush to get Moses' attention. Find a way to get their attention. Without the burning bush, Moses may not have been interested. Assumption, I did just rely on one's existing ideas before learning anything. So you just need to keep learning daily and consciously. Thank you so much for that. We're running out of time. How do you deal with social anxiety? What's the best way to handle social interactions when you don't know what to do? When you don't know what to do, the best way is to stay back and observe. Right? You can't go wrong with observation. In fact, you learn so much from observation. That's why Proverbs says, go to the ants and observe. Right? Go to the ants and observe. You will learn from the ants. So when you don't know what to do in a space of social interactions, just observe. You find a way to cue yourself in if you observe keenly. So observe. Right? The reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth is so that you can listen more and talk less. So observe. Just observe. And how do you deal with social anxiety? Yeah, there are people who have social anxiety. Like I said, practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more you deal with some of the issues that you have. Practice. I had some people come see me in the office to tell me about, they want to learn something. And I told them, this is what I expect you to do every single day. And I'm waiting for their feedback. Practice, all about practice. It's all about practice. Yeah, December 19th. Yeah, I'm going to send. I will drop the link to it so you anticipate. December 19th. It's beautiful. Yeah, so it is beautiful, Shalom. The songs are beautiful. Yeah, my people who have listened. Yeah, my real people have listened to it already. It's draining and exhausting when you're talking to someone and they don't respond. It's like you're talking to a wall. Well, you're learning. You're learning. This is part of your practice. You're learning. You'll get used to it. You upgrade your skill. Right? Okay, guys, this is where we are going to. Yeah, please change your YouTube name to your real name so my attendance people can take attendance. You are doing a great work with the attendance so far. Okay, this is where we'll call it a wrap for today. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are super, super amazing. So we'll see you again on the next conversation sometime in December. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll play our closing song and we'll be out of here. Thank you so much, guys. Please, in the comment, let me know how the session was for you. Just type in the comment how the session was for you. Was it impactful? Was it engaging? Was it exciting? Did you learn anything? Type in the comment how the session was for you. And this is where we call it a wrap for today. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening.
Till you take over the world.
We'll keep the fire burning.
Till the world hears your voice. Till you take over the world.
We'll keep the fire burning through the dark. I go there by your side.
When you're looking for a hero, I'll stand by you like a shadow.
But keep the fire burning through the dark. I go there by your side. It's not over, it only just began. You've come closer than you've ever been.
Take your chances, it won't hurt to try. No need to worry, I'll go there by your side.
Till the world hears your voice. Till you take over the world.
You're not there yet, but you're on the way. I day with you, I don't go forget you. No matter where you come from, we go there like one tribe.